Hello, and thank you for tuning in today. We are joined by Kait Lewis, Community Service Representative with the Willows of Howell. Welcome, Kait.
Thank you so much, Miss Diane.
We are excited to have you with us today. Why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself and share with us your career path that led you to the Willows?
Absolutely. So I had started about 8 years ago in healthcare administration. I had originally started out as a caregiver, actually. So I had already been gravitating towards the senior population prior to joining Trilogy Health Services, which is the parent company of the Willows at Howell. So I kind of just worked my way up into the administrative side, and I've been doing it ever since. I really enjoy helping families to navigate through something that is, emotional. They don't know where to turn. I love being that resource for the community in that way.
And that truly is a journey for many families, especially when they get the news or they start to see signs that their loved ones might need some additional care that they're not able to provide. So it's great that you kind of touched on the fact that you can be a resource for those families that are navigating senior placements. So if someone is in that position where they're just starting to see the signs or are being advised, through their healthcare professionals that maybe their loved ones needs extra care, what's the first step that they should do, or how can they start that process?
Well, I'm totally open to anyone contacting me, even if I can't, provide the exact service line that they're looking for, or they don't know where to turn. They can turn to me. I have plenty of resources and contacts through the community for them. If it's home health care, or they need hospice, or they're at the hospital and they're like, what's the next step? How do I know if it's time? I can help walk them through that, what I would call a senior living template. We'll go through it together. We'll find the resources that they need, and then I can come up with an answer for them.
Oh, that's helpful. I think that's comforting for families to know that there is that first step and someone they can reach out to. So you mentioned different service lines. What exactly, what type of care does the Willows at Howell provide?
Sure. So basically anything after independent living. So once you've kind of identified that a loved one is, past the point of being independent, the Willows at Howell can be a resource. So we have subacute rehab, which is somebody who is in the hospital system. Usually they're coming in because they need therapy. So that's occupational, physical, speech. So once they're discharged from the hospital, they're coming to us. We know that it's going to be a short time frame that we have them for subacute rehab. That is paid for by the insurance company. So once they have completed their subacute rehab, we do offer other options for them to continue to reside with us. We have long-term skilled nursing care, so that's going to be your more high acuity patients. We then have assisted living, and we also have memory care. We can provide hospice care in any of these service lines. So once we have somebody with us, that person is a member of our family, of our community. We do not want to have to discharge them to another facility for any reason. We want them to stay with us and be at home. So after the point that they are in, let's say, subacute rehab, if they'd like to stay with us additional time, we can find out through an assessment which service line is most appropriate for them and place them there. In that way, and the best thing about the Willows is we're like a one-stop shop. So let's say, mom or dad runs out of funding one day, which this happens. Then they're able to apply for Medicaid. We can help with that process. A lot of other facilities will discharge somebody at that point. But we are certified and we're able to accommodate even Medicaid patients. So once somebody, if we're honoring the fact that they are spending their money with us, and we do not want them to have to leave. So we are able to accommodate even somebody who is on Medicaid.
That has to be a huge comfort to the families, because I know that from personal experience that it's extremely costly, and insurance only covers so much, and no matter how much you plan, you don't know what's coming down the pipeline, so to speak, and the money does run out, and it runs out quickly, and then you're at this loss of, oh my goodness, what do we do now? So and that's
one thing that I hear so often is, well, you know, my mom or dad has great insurance. You know, they have Medicare primary and they have Blue Cross secondary. You know, unfortunately, with our insurance companies, that only pays for subacute rehab. So people don't know until you go through it or until you seek out that information that, you know, after the insurance says, well, we're not going to pay anymore. It's like, now what? And you have 48 hours to figure it out. So usually I get calls from families when they're in a panic, and I just always want to make sure that I start off with, like, you know, a layer of comfort. Like, we'll figure this out. Like, I have plenty of resources, and because the Willows has all the service lines and we are certified for Medicare, Medicaid, we can take hospice. There's nothing that we really can't accommodate. So as long as we have rooms available. So I really try and take care of the families in that regard. We do not want to see them have to go back out once they're with us. So it is a huge comfort to a lot of families. They don't have to move mom or dad again.
Absolutely, and like I said, that's just that's critical to families, because it is definitely a brick wall when you face that situation, not realizing that was even a thing, you know, that was even a possibility. You're, like you said, you're thinking you're set, you've got this great insurance, and then boom, that you just hit that wall, and it's extremely frightening for the family member. So that's wonderful. I mean, that's amazing that Willows is able to provide that, and that you're local, and that people can keep mom and dad close to them and their loved ones close to them. Another thing with the Willows that I love to touch on is that you are our entertainment sponsor for the Balloon Fest this year. So you will be, you are known for your community engagement and just the events that you hold at the Willows, just to engage the community, invite them in and spend time with the residents. Why is community engagement so important to the Willows?
The company that I work for really has a philanthropical viewpoint, which I really appreciate. It was one of the things that I stalked Trilogy Health Services before I got this job. I wanted to feel good about what I was doing and being able to give back to the community. And, you know, part of that is not just doing things in the community, but bringing the community into the Willows. You know, our residents love to see little kids running around. They love to have, you know, their families come in, and not just, oh, you know, they're going to go see mom in this depressing nursing home circumstance, but no, they're going to go see mom at this resort-like place that has these awesome events that are family oriented, where they can have fun. So that's our goal, is we want to bring in the community to the Willows, along with our residents' families, to have a great time. The next event that we actually have coming up is a car show. And prior to COVID, that had gotten pretty big. I actually ran out of spaces in our parking lot to park cars, so I was parking them up on the curbs and on the grass.
I remember that.
So it was awesome. I really hope, this is our first year doing it since COVID. So August 25th from 4 to 7, we're having our Willows Charity Car Show. Hoping to get a great turnout. If anyone's interested in entering a vehicle, please contact me. We really want it to be a great time. So we'll sell admission tickets. Tickets include 2 beverages and food. We're doing a gourmet burger bar, which is
oh, I'm
so
starving,
good.
so you are making me very hungry.
We're gonna have truffle fries, chicken, the Kona ice truck is coming out. It should be a really great time. Live music. And the best part about it is that we are able to do, the Trilogy has an Independence for Hunger campaign. So each year, for 6 months out of the year, I get to choose As long as it's related to helping relieve community hunger, we're allowed to choose whatever charity we would like to sponsor. And as a volunteer personally for Meals on Wheels, I wanted to choose Meals on Wheels this year, so we are raising all of our money from the car show, and then there will be more events to follow within the next 6 months to help our actual community. We're not doing like the big organizations. This is hometown stuff. We want to raise money for hunger relief in this area. So if we can help our seniors out, and I personally see the impact every day. I actually just got done doing my route, and I've got about 25 people that we stop and help every Thursday morning. That's where I'm at.
Oh, well, no, that's
so
incredible.
They can't, they can't make it out. They can't get out to get food. And so we're bringing it to them, to their doorstep. So, I mean, if anyone can contribute in this way, it's a fun way to help our local community seniors.
Well, and I think that's, like I said, I think that's absolutely incredible, because the flip side of that is, yes, they need the services of having food and meals brought to them, but it's also that one-on-one, just that interaction. They're homebound, they're not able to get out. And it's, families get busy, loved ones get busy, and it's hard to always be able to visit as often as you want. So knowing that there's organizations like Meals on Wheels that actually go into the home and don't just drop and run, they actually spend a few minutes and converse and engage.
Yeah, it's also a wellness check,
absolutely.
So if someone's not okay and they know that they're, someone's going to be coming in each day, they're going to be checked on.
And that's a very important note that you just made. I didn't even think about that if someone isn't checking on them on a regular basis, they could be hurt or have medical issues that maybe they are not even realizing that they're experiencing. So that's just another side of how important that is.
Yep.
And then I wanted to touch a little bit about your 5-star CMS rating. What exactly, can you explain what that is and why that's so important?
It's very important. So families, when they're making the choice of what community they'd like their loved one to enter, they can actually go online to the Medicare website and find out which facilities are better based on stars. So health inspections, quality measurements, and staffing are what make up a 5-star rating, and the Willows is 5 stars. So we like to brag about it.
Well, you should. And obviously you mentioned the big one, staffing for many industries across the board. So the fact that you're able, that is part of that 5-star rating tells us that obviously you're fairly well staffed and you're able to give that service, that one-on-one engagement and service and that care to your residents, which is crucial. So if someone is reaching that point where maybe they are wondering how they're gonna, make that transition for their mom and dad or their loved ones, how can they get a hold of you or get a hold of the Willows?
Sure. The campus number is 517-552-9323. They can schedule a tour anytime. We're happy to talk with people or walk them through. If you want to reach out to me directly, my direct number is 517-388-5977. So
Wonderful.
Give me a call.
Well, thank you so much, Kate, for joining us today.
You're welcome.